Hello, welcome to another episode of Put a Fork in It. This is Sir Thick Adam Forky. I'm Alice Always, and today we have Accelerate.
My man.
What up?
What up, Hex? How you doing?
I'm great. I'm just finishing up dinner and chatting with you guys. What's going on?
Them yummy looking burgers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we had chicken Alfredo.
You did add cheese, right?
No, I didn't.
No.
I could. I still could.
Yep. Oh, hang on. Let me get the
Uh-oh.
chats going on here. All right.
So any new fires in the Cleveland area, that you know of today?
Today, no.
Well, I guess I should say industrial fires, and there's been a bunch of house fires, but yeah,
No,
man.
other than that one from, what was it, Wednesday, I think? I haven't heard of any new ones.
Yeah, it was crazy. I saw that again on Twitter, and I was like, man, this wasn't this last week. Why are we talking about this again? And no, this one was on the west side. That was closer to you.
Yep. It's around the Ohio City area.
Did you smell anything?
No, by the time I left work and was on my way home, they had put it out. So
Oh, well, that's good. What was
Yeah,
that shop, anyways?
It was a metal fabrication.
But you said your sister saw it, right?
yeah, because it was like a ton of smoke. She said she saw it on her way to work.
Yeah, I mean that's really not that far from them.
Well, you know me, I don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I don't get lost in the house.
We were only going to get a 1-floor house, so that would, not happen. But
Sometimes I do the, like, you forgot why you walk into a room. I do that a lot. It's horrible. So Hex, I don't like him, like, at all. Like, I never liked him.
jeez.
But what do you think about that Scott Adams stuff that happened?
I haven't been following it, so you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong here. From what I understand, some study came out, probably a bullshit study, that said that 75 or 70 whatever % of Black people hate white people.
Yeah,
And
it was 1,000
like,
people.
I'm sorry, one more time.
It was 1,000 people. It was a poll based on 1,000 people.
Okay. And then I guess, I don't know who, but they're like, okay, I'm just not going to live near Black people, which, why would you live near anyone who hates you?
Yeah.
And I guess Scott Adams tried to say he was racist. Is that the gist of what happened?
Yeah. He came out with a video and because of this poll said, fine, then I'm gonna stay away from you. I'm not gonna live by you. And stuff like that. And I don't really believe a lot of polls, especially if it's only based on 1,000 people. But
That's
or on Twitter. I mean, I don't know. Twitter polls are always skewed.
Yeah, it wasn't a Twitter poll. It was it's like a professional polling place, but I'm pretty sure it's the same place that said Hillary was gonna win. I think it was the same thing. But like my opinion on Scott Adams though is I just find him utterly annoying. I don't like him, but him or Maj Toure kind of really went after him for that. And Maj Toure kind of felt like it was his excuse to be racist. Like he was waiting to be racist and that was his excuse. And then I saw other people commenting throughout it, and there was a really good point that one girl brought up. She was like, white men are much more likely to get caught with child porn than any other race. So should we keep all of our kids away from white men? And she was like, I get there's a a violence problem in the community. She was like, but I just, why do we keep blocking everybody together? Especially, I mean, I know Scott Adams isn't libertarian or conservative, really, but if especially if you're libertarian, you're supposed to be about the individual. And I think we're really, really starting to lose individualism. And I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, white women really annoy me, but I'm really getting tired of being balked in with all other white women. Like, God, now I know how black people feel. Like, it's just.
It's suburban white women. Wine moms,
I'm definitely not one of the wine moms for sure. But yeah, I mean, and it is weird though. Like when it comes to school shooters, it's usually a white male kid that does it. It's never a girl. It's rarely a black kid doing it. So, it would be interesting to figure out. Do black families put their kids on prescription drugs as much as white families do?
In my experience, no. You were basically, if you, said you were depressed or not maybe specifically that, but something in that vein, you basically get slapped and say you better get over it.
Yeah.
That was our cure for depression.
Right. I mean, my parents didn't do that to me, but
Well, like when we
they wanted to put me on pills when I was 17, and my mom was like, no, she's 17.
When we were growing up, you go to your parents and say, "Oh, Billy doesn't like me." That sucks. My mom would be like, "Yeah, that sucks. Go find something else to play with then." Like, it wasn't, well, let me go call Billy's mommy and try to talk some sense into her to talk some sense into her son so you guys can hang out. And it's like, what if it's all right to not like each other, not bond? I mean, go find someone that you get along with.
Right. And and to your point, Alice, about school shooters basically never being female, it's just kind of the dynamic in, I guess, humanity in general. Women just tend to be coddled. The littlest thing could be wrong, and then everyone's like, "Oh, what's wrong? Do you need this? Do you need that?" Men, we don't get that, and Adam can attest to that.
I coddle you a little bit.
No, honey, this is on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, and more white girls commit suicide. White girls commit suicide at a higher rate, which is really scary. Very scary. And I feel like suicide's becoming like a cool thing. My cousin said the other day, he was like, I feel like suicide is a white girl thing. But actually, when it comes to adults, I'm pretty sure men commit suicide at a higher rate than women.
I'm sorry. Repeat that. You said men commit suicide.
When it comes to adults, I think I'm not sure, but I think the statistics are that men commit suicide at a higher rate than women. But I think as teenagers, I think girls commit suicide at a higher rate than boys. So I guess boys have hope till they're in their 40s, and girls at 16 are like, fuck this.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, this is not going to help my argument that I keep making, because I keep saying, like, I get women can be really, really crazy. There's a reason that I don't have a ton of female friends. Throughout pretty much my whole life, I didn't have a lot of female friends. But sometimes I look at women and I'm just like, if you really think about it, we did rule the world and you ruined it. Like, men were building and doing everything for us. And we didn't have to go to work, and we didn't have to like work these long freaking hours. We didn't have to send our kids to daycare and stuff like that. And now, like, look at all the stuff they built for women. Like, most stuff, it's built for women and kids. when you build a hotel, you're catering more towards the mom and the kids. Like you just do. Everything
Yeah,
was
because
like
you know, the
catered.
dads are simple. They're just like, let's just put a small little bar, maybe like a keg over in this area for them, just, a couple handfuls, beer selection. And that's because I always tell people I'm a simple dude.
Right.
But I also think, I mean, Adam and I have been together for 16 years. But I think before I was with Adam, there were so many guys that I would meet and they wanted nothing to do with having a stay at home wife and mom. Like a lot of guys had this attitude like, well, if I'm going to have to be out and work, she should have to be out and work. What? She's just going to sit home with a baby all day?
And honestly, kind of like when we first had when Scar was first born and the whole her staying home, like we did have those kinds of arguments and discussions. Like I worked all day, and like, but when I say that I worked all day to her, it's like saying she didn't do anything when my kid's fed alive. I have clothes in the clean clothes in my dresser. I have a meal. Like take out the fucking garbage, man. It's not that big of a deal. It's not really not. I don't even look at it like taking out the trash is like a man job. Like dishes is a woman job. It's just like, dude, everything else that she's done, like just take the shit out. It's not that hard. Like you're getting off easy. It took me a little while, and there's still times where I probably unknowingly do that shit, the same kind of shit. But I think I've definitely gotten better.
Well, I mean, honestly, it would take me a lot to divorce you, but if you treated me that way, yeah.
Oh no, like I will go get a second job versus having to stay home with these kids. Nope.
Well, no, I mean, not even that. You don't treat me like I'm just a stay-at-home mom that doesn't do anything all day. And you make sure that I have my me time and I can have concerts in the middle of the living room.
Yeah, like a lot of dudes would get up and be like, "What are you doing, woman? Be quiet, shut up. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta get up in the morning."
I don't care.
And
And it's not that I don't care. It's just I don't do that to you all the time. I'm allowed to have fun, just like you're allowed to have fun. But yeah. But yeah, I don't think a lot of guys are ready for that responsibility as much as they think they're ready for that responsibility. Because it is really hard to stay home. It is. You don't get your own paycheck anymore, which is maybe back in the day that didn't matter much to women, but I went so many years with making my own money that it does bother me that that I don't make my own money. Like when we got my inheritance from mom, it made me feel like good to see my name on a check, and it was a good check too. Wasn't huge. It wasn't like Wine Mom Suburban.
You gotta like with her, she doesn't have like a look what I did mindset with it, because what she does, like a lot of stuff that she does is huge around the house and in our family's everyday life. That it just goes unseen. It's almost like clockwork. Like it's there. And there's times that especially Scarlett and I take that for granted because like we're just used to it being done. And I give her a lot of credit as much as I can.
Hex, do you think you would be like, do you think life prepared you to be a provider and like husband and dad? Like if you became a dad tomorrow, would you shit your pants?
It's okay to say yes.
Probably. I mean, that's not something to be taken lightly.
No, I was scared to death. And how old was I? Was 30.
I was scared when she became pregnant, and then it was like a whole new, like when she gave birth to our kids, especially Scarlett. Like I've never been so scared in my life. Like scared, nervous, helpless. Like there was nothing that I could do. And when she was pregnant with Scar, that was one thing. And then when all of a sudden there she is. Like when we showed up at the hospital, she wasn't there, but when we left, she went with us. You know, like so, like that's just like it's just you have the mindset of what's gonna come and what the future holds, and then it happens, and you're like, oh shit, you know, and that's all right, man. There ain't shit my pants many times as a father.
Hex, Jess, or she wants to know if you think Bunny is hot.
Oh my god. Yes, I do. I'm not even gonna lie.
Ah, great babies. Those would be good babies, Hex. They would be, yeah. I'll say, I don't think Adam knows who Bunny is. Bring up a picture of her. Oh, by the way, Scar said hi, Hex.
Hello, Scar. How are you doing? I don't even know.
She's
if she's
not
still
in here
around.
anymore. Yeah, she can't wait for you to come back over. She's like, I really want Hex to show me how to play some stuff on the guitar. And I'm like, then just bring your guitar down when he's here. Just
I'll bring one of mine next time we do something.
oh, there you go. And then what's Randy saying? Would have an entire light-skinned basketball team.
Oh my god. Shout out to Randy. He's freaking hilarious.
Oh my god, yeah. Randy is very funny. I didn't know Bunny lived in California.
Yep, she's in that failed state, unfortunately.
Does she want to leave? I don't think I follow her. I just see her a lot.
Yeah, she does, but you know, it's fucking California. It's kind of hard to do unless you got stacks on stacks on stacks.
Daniel. Oh, Stoner's here.
Speaking of, where's the Boy King?
Upstairs, I just gave him my phone because he was about to come down here stark ass naked.
Speaking of,
Oh,
I
boy.
gotta put his stuff in the dryer.
Before you even get monetized.
Yeah. So how's work going, buddy?
So far, same old, really. Shit. Next week, all the execs are coming to our location, so that's gonna be fun. It turns out we've been doing better than all the other locations, and they want to know why.
You just need to be like right here, man.
Pretty much.
Streaker boy Grayson's. That's funny.
I'm behind on the laundry for sure. Well, actually, I'm really not. Compared to where I was like a month ago, I'm like way ahead. But I'm gonna get on top of that laundry while I watch this Alex Murdaugh trial, even though I know how it ends.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The whole thing is crazy. I don't know what to believe. But have you heard anything about that, Hex, that Alex Murdaugh trial?
I hear stuff about it, but I don't know who that is or what specifically happened.
Yeah, we just Adam watched something about it. Paul has watched the whole entire trial, and he said they just couldn't convince him that he did it. And yeah, then I started reading more stuff about it and watching more stuff about it. And I mean, I'm gonna watch as much of the trial as I can. It's really long. I'm like, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think it's much more likely that other family did it, but yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's almost like you got punished for this to make up for all the bullshit that his family, got away with throughout the years. But that just means that there's, someone that actually killed somebody's on the loose.
I think Forrest mommy, I think Paul is gonna go over it tomorrow on sibling revelry. And
I just know that for somebody asked for his 2 cents.
What's that?
I just know that apparently someone asked O.J. Simpson for his 2 cents about the trial.
It's hilarious. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yes.
What are you correct about?
What I said that he's getting, payback, retribution or
Oh yeah, like that.
I don't
whole-
feel bad for him for going to prison for the rest of his life, whether he did this crime or not. But that just means that she's sitting too close. It's just unfortunate. That means that somebody's actually out there that actually committed these murders, but would you really want that person caught anyway? Because,
Well, did the mom deserve it though? I can understand
that whole
that.
family was corrupt.
Well, I don't know much about the mom. I've learned a bit about the brothers and the dad, so I don't know. Fucking white people, dude, always shooting each other.
Savages, animals.
Oh, you know what I read I don't. Yeah, I wonder if I could figure out how to bring this up. So I was reading the statistics of people who kill family members, and it really appears that white people kill their family at a much higher rate than other races do.
I'm not surprised at all.
Not surprising.
Like, for white women, they kill their children at 49%. But black people, it's 34, and other is 4.1. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's how it's been. I mean, that's how it's been forever. I mean, it just.
Well, why don't we ever talk about female toxicity when women kill their kids so often?
Yeah, that's a crazy thing that happens a lot.
You
Yeah.
see these videos of white women encountering a black woman or man or whatever, and be like they're on the phone with the cops, and the dude's film. There was one with an Amazon driver that did this. He delivered a package, and then one of the white neighbors came out, and she's freaking out on him. So if you're accusing these black people of being a criminal or robbing the house or whatever, I mean, why don't they just turn around and then say, I mean, did you kill your kids today, or are you gonna do that tomorrow? I mean, because if they're gonna go off of black people are criminals, well, I mean, you're baby killers.
You kill your own family members because y'all just that fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
Well,
white women think I'm on the phone with the cops, and they're gonna believe me because I'm white, a white woman, and you're a black, 20-something-year-old kid. Cops are gonna believe me. Who cares about your video? Would you kill your kids today?
I think it's safe to say that every race and culture does really fucked up shit to people. And that's why you should look at people as individuals. For sure. I mean, look at a lot of the serious Christian families. Look at do you know the Duggars hacks?
No.
The 19 kids and counting. So it's this family that used to have a reality TV show, and they had 19 kids, and they were they were super, super religious.
In general, Forrest Mommy.
Yeah. They were super, super religious, and people would kind of make jokes about them being pedophiles, because they were so deep into religion. And then it turned out that their son was a fucking pedophile, and they covered for him quite a bit, and so did his wife. And he's going to jail for 12 years. He should be in jail for more. But yeah, he
should have gotten 12 shots. That's what he should have gotten.
He molested his sisters. And he molested, I don't know if it was cousins or a friend of the family, but yeah. And then he was found with child pornography. Yeah.
Goddamn
And-
white people.
Yeah, it's like I don't ever like really want to be like a part, like, well, except for the FMU. Like I always want to be part of the FMU, but I don't ever like want to be part of something that's so just because weird shit always happens. Just saying. Am I wrong? Like,
Not
like,
really.
like Hex, would you raise your kids religiously? If you had kids, would you raise them in religion?
That's a good question, actually. At the very least, I would instill in them some of the religious values that I grew up with. At the very least.
But you wouldn't like take them to the.
Now, are those values specific towards that religion, or are those just good person values that, you know?
Or that argument just more good person values more than anything.
What are some strict rules in your religion? Like what is there anything you remember as a kid that they were really like weird or strict about? Like I remember at the Catholic Church there was just weird things they were strict about.
Anything weird? Not, I don't really remember, but I guess the main thing is we weren't allowed to eat pork at all, and I still don't to this day, as you all know.
Yeah. Sad life without bacon, man. She can't even
You can
afford-
have turkey bacon, or there's other bacons. I mean, bacon is just technically the cut of meat,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the skin
it's,
off the ass.
do you not remember when we accidentally got that turkey bacon?
I do remember that. That was the worst bacon I've ever had. The dude, my general manager, when I worked for Domino's, my general manager, really not religious. He just didn't eat pork. You know, I mean, he just.
I know a lot of people like that.
He just.
Yeah,
I mean, my cousin doesn't eat pork. You know, and he just doesn't. I mean, he rarely eats beef. He's like a chicken. He loves chicken, which makes a lot of sense if you've seen him.
I love chicken.
Yeah, but that's all he eats. He doesn't even eat beef.
Yeah.
Really.
We didn't eat beef a lot growing up. It wasn't until basically I was an adult that I started eating it more. I'm
What is
not
it?
sure.
You're not sure why. Well,
I'm not-
pork isn't pork considered like dirty?
Yeah.
Like because it's
Yeah.
a filthy animal.
Yeah.
They're so cute though.
You wash that shit right off, though.
Well, at least Tex was able to sort of try my dip.
Yeah.
Because I made it with the chicken or whatever. We just need to figure out how to season that more for sure. Yeah, I couldn't imagine raising my kids at all in the religion that I grew up in, but I was raised Catholic. So, I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff. Like, I always thought it was weird. You would go to confession and you would confess your sins or whatever, which was always the same thing when I would go in there. I'd be like, I'd talk back to my parents. I argued with my sibling. And then we'd have to go into, there was like a special area that you went into and you'd have to come out and there's an altar and everything there.
And then you
And
come out with a part in your hair.
no, because I was a girl.
Oh, okay.
As a girl, that didn't happen to me. Maybe my brothers, I don't know. They were altar boys. And there was a child molester at our church.
That's fair, Paul.
What did Paul say? Syrup may taste like pumpkin pie. That doesn't mean I'm.
I mean, we could go to New York City and ask some of the homeless.
But yeah, you would have
Probably
to
tastes like
say
chicken.
you would have to say like 7 Hail Marys, 5 Our Fathers, and that was how you repented. Never was I told to apologize to my parents. Never was I told to be more respectful to my parents. Never was I told to not try and get along with my siblings better. It was just go out there and say these prayers at the altar and you will be cleansed of your sins. So I'm like, okay. Well, I'm just going to do a bunch of other shit now too, and I'll just apologize for that when I'm at this altar, and we'll be good.
I was just thinking that too.
It's wild. It's so weird. Yeah, our church was weird. We had the guy that was like molesting children. It ended up we found out years later because one of the priests that we really liked just went away. His name was Father Stephen. He just went away and nobody understood why. And it was because he turned in a high, like, went and reported a higher up priest, Father Weber, who was diddling kids. So they kept the kid diddler in our church, but they got rid of the younger priest who called out the diddler. It's wild, dude. Wild.
That's just the saddest fucking government. My God.
Yep. Cover for each other.
Yep.
Brothers in black were brothers in Christ, I guess.
Yeah. And how many times I had to go to confession with that guy, Father Weber. Father
Who
Vile.
takes their confession?
I don't know. I think priests are supposed to confess to each other. So like the top priest at our church, the lower priest would like confess to them. And then like a top priest at a church would have to go to like how each state and then each country has like their different.
Archbishop or whatever.
Oh, being Catholic is exhausting. We went to my nephew's confirmation, was it? His communion or confirmation? Yeah.
Yeah, it was his communion. But he was like 12.
He was like 14. He
Yeah,
was like,
he was
yeah.
over the normal.
So, but we all went, and my dad, he was more agnostic, and this priest is like lecturing, and the priest is like, "There's a lot of rules in the Catholic religion," and my dad started laughing, and then Adam starts laughing, and I'm just like, "Oh my God."
You got to understand. Well, I mean, without getting into too much detail, that her dad was, suffering from MS, and just he had a reason because he really couldn't control it. I didn't because
Sometimes, yeah.
I should have controlled it, but I just didn't want him to feel lonely. So they're gonna look. They look over and see me and him laughing. They're gonna look at me like, "You asshole." They're not gonna say that to him.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it was exhausting being part of the Catholic Church. And yeah, you have to, like, when I would go to just a regular Christian church, it doesn't matter. You can just get communion. But at a Catholic church, you're not allowed to get communion until you make your first communion, which is usually around like first or second grade. They do that. But yeah, it's considered like this horrible thing in the Catholic Church if you take communion without being communionized or whatever. But like other churches, you can just go up. Yeah. My grandma's funeral was in a Catholic church and they did communion, and my mom is like looking around, and we're the only kids from, her family that aren't getting up to take communion. But like my aunt, all of her kids are going up and taking communion. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll go take communion. I don't give a fuck. So I went up there and my mom thanked me later. She's like,
They don't ask you for papers first. I mean,
but yeah, like if they find out that you're not confirmed, so like if I were to bring a friend to church with me, if they were not confirmed or if they didn't have their communion in their church, they were not allowed to take communion at our church.
All right, real quick. I don't know what that means.
communion.
Yeah, I don't know what that is at all. I have no.
So it's. You're actually really lucky. So communion is they take what they say is the body of Christ. Usually, like in my church, the priest would get up there and he would bless the wafers, because that's basically what they are. They're little wafers with a cross in it. They're actually not that bad. So they bless the wafers, which are supposed to represent the body of Christ. So when you make your first communion, you go up there and the priest like does this to you. Hex, you got to see this. It's so weird. They go like this to you, and some places they put it in your hand.
It's up to the person. They can have the
or
priest put it in their mouth,
or a lot of people are just like. and the priest puts it in their mouth. And then the other thing that they do during communion is they drink wine, and that's supposed to be the blood of Christ.
Yeah, but they only give you a little bitty sip. Dude. You can't go up there and like get drunk off. Let you do that.
But and you have to be confirmed into the Catholic religion to do that, which I never got confirmed. I refused to do it. My mom wasn't too happy, but my dad was like, I mean,
Here's our resident expert.
yeah.
All through prayer.
And being blessed. Yeah, when I used to have to go to PSR, which is religion class for public school. So when we would practice, you do it with non-blessed wafer things. I don't know. It's really, really weird. It's really weird. But yeah, other churches don't do that. Other churches, you can just, you could be at them and they'll give you freaking.
That's what I'm saying. They don't ask you for fucking papers. 1 second.
Right, Jeff? They really weren't that bad.
They're like them wafer cookies with like none of the.
It's like just a really thin wafer. Yeah, they weren't that bad.
If I could put some LSD on that stuff and really have a good time, maybe you could actually see Jesus.
Whatever.
Jazz FM. Sorry.
That is a classic Gus thing to say.
All right, so you want to get into what you wanted to talk about tonight?
We were talking about that. Oh,
You were talking. No, you. Well, I guess so.
We were talking about the difference in violence in white and black communities. Or are you talking about how I wanted to spend 15 minutes talking about how amazing Prince is?
Talk about Prince.
I said to Adam tonight, I'm like, do you mind if Hex and I just spend 15 minutes just straight talking about how fucking amazing Prince is? I mean, he is really good.
Damn it.
Oh, you know.
God
Okay, so
damn it.
speaking of Prince, so because I watched those Michael Jackson documentaries, so all this stuff is coming up on my YouTube about it, and people kept like trying to say, they would like try and like cause these fights between Michael Jackson. They're like, oh, why Michael Jackson and Prince feuded, and I'm like, they never feuded. They were more competitive of each other than anything. But it just amazes me how people try so hard to turn absolutely nothing into something that it isn't, just for clicks and likes, even though it's just totally not true. Actually, when Michael Jackson died, Prince didn't come out of his room for like 2 or 3 days. He was rehearsing and somebody came and told him, and he just canceled the rehearsal and he left, and he didn't come out of his room for like 2 or 3 days.
Jeez.
And then he died.
Yeah, right.
Crazy. I wonder if they killed him. I think they kill them all. Like I just never believe that a celebrity just dies of real drugs. Funny you should say that, Stoner. I did a podcast yesterday. It hasn't come out yet, Hawkett podcast. And after I was done, I told Adam, I was like, God, like, why do I laugh and giggle so much? I need to stop laughing and giggling so much all the time.
Oh, are you gonna write our intro?
I was like purple rain.
Yeah,
I'll sing.
Please don't. None of us did anything wrong.
Always so judgy.
Do you want me to sing?
Definitely not. I heard that Tuesday night.
Fucking Radio Gaga, dude. That's a great song, though. It's a really good song. Damn, I was about to say something to Hex and now I forgot.
Sorry.
I'm like Doug.
Yeah, but I'm your pothole.
Adam's my pothole. You know what was funny last night though is Adam said or just put up that picture and said told me to find myself on the shelf, right? So I commented on it, and then Adam and I get into bed and he's like laughing, and I'm like, what are you laughing at? And he's like, you'll see. And I'm like, what did you do? And he was like, why does it always have to be something I did? Why does it have to be me? And I'm like, because it's usually you. So then I get onto Twitter and there's Adam post a picture of him and Jess. Well, I think this one belongs
That's
on
the
the
that's
shelf.
the most formal I've looked in years. I had a tie on, a fancy garter around my neck. The sun was still up, so I wasn't that drunk.
You were pretty drunk though. Everybody who's here that was at the vow renewal, who was definitely wasn't there, but was Adam not drunk like 2 hours in?
I was
I don't
drunk when it started.
Yeah, he's like, look at Hex. He's like, I don't remember.
It's my man.
Hex is like, I was busy.
It's my man.
Always
I was
What?
a little. I was also a little bit intoxicated, to be fair.
weren't you guys doing oh no. Weren't you guys doing shots?
Yeah, me and Jess
Before?
did it. Before?
Yeah, I did one.
Yeah, Marina and I did 1 or 2 in the house. Jess, I don't know if Jess was in there. I don't remember who, but Marina and I did like 2 before I walked out because oh my gosh. You would have thought it was my actual wedding day. I was so nervous. What?
Nothing.
Sorry.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. We should do that again.
Just the wedding of the century.
Just without the vow renewal part.
Yeah.
Like the party part, just without the vow renewal. Like set up the tent, get a dance floor. We should do all that again. Just not the vow renewal part. That part was. We can do that again in like 10 years. You know what we should do?
Or when the weather gets warmer.
We should all go to Colorado in like 10 years and have a little re-wedding on a mountain somewhere. Just us.
Truer words have never been spoken.
We might have to go in like 10 days if something else catches on fire
And we call it Forest Mommy. Looks like we're gonna make it to Colorado this year after all, because our
here.
state's
Kind of don't have a
here.
choice now.
For sure.
First sign of downfall, your wife's going to put you in a home, huh?
Oh my God,
What'd you say, Paul?
They blocked my own chat. What did you do?
what'd you say, Paul?
You know, that's when we were getting married. That was one of my biggest,
Beefs.
yeah, because before her and I met, I never even thought I'd get married, and then because it was, why do I need a piece of paper from the government to, tell me that I love her? It never made sense to me.
Because taxes and probably some other bullshit.
Right. I mean, I understand that, but I still don't understand.
Kids stuff, but yeah, it's not worth it. You know what I wanted to ask you, Hex? This is going back to like the stuff we were talking about before, like with the videos coming out of like people sharing black kids like beating the fuck out of each other. Just want you to know I never saw any fights in my white neighborhood growing up, and none of them ever got out of control. We were all always well-mannered white children. That's a fucking lie.
That's always a lie.
Yes, please. You know, like you'll see people say shit like, well, they need to do something about their people and they need to do this. Like, how does that make you feel? Because nobody ever says to me, like, and when they see like white trash getting into a fight at Walmart, like nobody says to white people, like, you need to take care, and those are your people, because they're definitely not my people. Like, I just like wonder, like, what makes people like say that to somebody. Like, I mean, don't you understand it? Like, do you understand what I'm saying when people say that kind of stuff? Like, they bulk everybody together, you know, like.
Yeah, I hate that. Like, I see those videos and I'm like, most of us aren't like that. So, you know, it sucks for most of us because it puts the rest of us in a bad light. But then, you know, you can also look at the, you know, white people who would think that, and it's like, do you have some underlying racial bias there that you don't want to acknowledge or something?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that one. Yeah, I find it so weird because nobody ever says that when they see the white trash, you know, and the meth heads and people like that you see in that. They're predominantly white people. I do think, I don't know if you ever saw it, but Maj brought up a really good point that, so like a lot of your trashy white people tend to like live like out in the sticks more type areas. You know, you'll get them in the urban areas and stuff. He was like, so their shit stays pretty private, you know, whereas a lot of black people ended up in the, you know,
big
urban
cities.
communities that are more populated, more people, so you see it more. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And you know what else I wanted to ask you your opinion on? Do you think it's rap music? Like, do you think it's music that is making gang violence and urban community violence worse?
I think it's a part of it, but it's definitely not the entire picture. First, I do want a quick side note. That question reminds me, a while ago, I got into an argument with a tranny who said I had low IQ because I was black. So that was fun. No, but it's like, you know, it's rap music, especially these days, it does play a part. But no, it's like, what did they do in the 60s? Lyndon Johnson's like a Great Society thing where they introduced welfare, which broke up the family unit, especially for black people. You know, without a father in the home, you're more likely to end up in jail and not finish school or end up dead or whatever. Everyone knows that. Then, you know, the drug war happened. So, you know, people get involved in drugs, they get arrested, and then that's on their record for life, and then they can't actually get jobs and shit like that. So they end up just going back to drugs, and it's just a terrible cycle that continues.
So do you think that it's the music itself, like the lyrics, the words, or is it the opportunity to get, you know, to get money, to get paid? Essentially, like, you know, like, and even with like sports, basketball or football, Charles Barkley, I saw something that he had said. He would go to speak at schools, and he'd go to speak at a white school, and I'll ask the kids, you know, what they would want to be when they grow up, and they're doctors, lawyers, fighter pilots, firemen, whatever. And he'd go to black schools and ask the same age group of kids what they you know, want to be when they grow up, and it's, you know, a music artist, a basketball player, or a football player. And that was, he said that they got to do better to let these kids know that there's more out there than, you know. So is it the words that's doing it, or is it, you know, trying to, like, a kid that wants to play basketball would spend all day on the basketball court? So is it a kid that, you know, maybe not athletic, can't, you know, play basketball or football. So he's like, all right, I can rhyme, I can write. That I guess that would be it, because it seems like, especially kids of color, like they think that they're like pigeonholed into like a handful of things that they can do
to be successful
in life. And I think they look up to like the wrong, their idea of success is, you know, not reality. I mean, just like it is for anybody.
So that's a good question to that point. I think a big big reason for that is like, I don't know if this is the case anymore, but I do. This necessarily didn't happen to me. It did, but to a lesser extent. You know, you get like, particularly a single Black mother. They have kids, and then, you know, if they're old enough, they probably experience like legit racism. So they're like telling their kids, like, you know, white people won't let you in college to be a doctor or a lawyer or teacher or whatever. They're gonna do whatever they can to turn you away and hold you down. You know, that's been passed on for generations. So because of that, you got a lot of kids thinking, oh, the only way I'm actually get somewhere in life is to be a rapper or an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes people
I
don't
remember
realize. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
remember, like, I remember hearing, like, when I was like in like grade school and whatever, if you were Black, you did decently well in school. You were considered to be acting white. If you spoke proper English, you were said to be acting white. If you
Fair
listen to anything but
And
rap
and
or R&B, you were acting white. And, you know, nobody wanted to be considered like a race traitor or anything. So that's another thing. It's like peer pressure from your peers, you know. And I experienced that, but I just kept on doing I just kept on doing my own thing. But, you know, not everyone. A lot of people are not as strong-willed as I am. Not to brag, but
Sure.
it's just the reality of the situation.
get your brag on. Yeah, Marina has brought that up, and her sister has brought that up. Now, Marina, I mean, she'll definitely go off, but like when she's working and stuff like that, I mean, she's very cutesy tootsy. She is.
Like,
Well, Marina's
what
half.
do?
Oh, she is.
No, what does she do?
She's a dental assistant.
A dental assistant. I kept wanting to say,
And
like,
she went to school for it. Well, she's like, I don't know, like,
she did.
qualifications.
Yeah,
She's not a
went to
dentist. She
school.
works at a dentist office. She's not like a receptionist. So, but she worked hard to get to that point. And yeah, there's people that
And she did it when she was pregnant.
yeah,
She went to school and she worked at a catering place, that one place that they all worked at.
and
Yeah, and she did that and went to school.
Yeah,
But,
see, and she is.
we're just trying to do our part here, Stoner.
What,
Yeah.
Hex?
She's a perfect example. Like, she was pregnant, still got to where she is now. Like, that's someone that people should be looking up to, not just.
Well, and then she also, you know, her first love was not on the. I don't even know how he was a bad dude. He was a street dude. He was a street dude. And he would accuse her of that all the time.
Oh yeah.
All the time. Like,
She
was just like, why can't we have a family? Why can't we just be together? Why can't, you know, I'll work, you work, we'll get, you know, and he said, why do you want to be white?
Well, I don't know if I don't remember it, but yeah, there was texts that were sent.
And, you know, you're like, and it just, I don't understand that, but I don't.
Well, white people do that to Black people, though.
Agreed.
Too. One of the reasons me and Adam's friends did not hit it off well at all was we went up to Divots the one night, which is right around the corner from our house, and Adam and I were hanging out with his softball buddies, and it just so happened that our friend Michael, who is Black, was up there playing darts. So like I talked to Michael for a little bit and then I went outside where you guys were and Michael came out and talked to us again for a little bit and he went back in and one of Adam's friends said that is the whitest black man I ever met and I'm just like you're a fucking dick, dude.
All because of the way he talked. And it's
And
like
that to me is the mentality of a lot of white people because they like live in this little place where like they were never around black people. But I was around so many different black people growing up that I didn't think about it. When my parents owned the store, we had black salesmen, we had black customers that would come in, like so it wasn't a big deal. And then my sisters went to an all girls private school and it was like half black, half white. These were predominant families, you know, like not that my family was like all upstanding, but my parents were business owners. My sister's best friend, that my dad coached for cross country, she was black. So I never looked at people like that. So now it's like weird because yeah, even white people will be like, oh, he acts so white. And I'm just like, what the fuck are like he's just talking. What he's not is gangsta.
No, it's just like, you know, these people, they live so insulated and, you know,
Yeah.
they're like, don't live around black people, never seen them in school or the store or whatever. And then they turn on like the news or whatever, and the news is showing them like some of the worst examples of other races. And then, you know, they see like someone who isn't like that, and then they're so surprised, which, you know, it's kind of goofy, but at this point, I'm just like, whatever. Like, be an idiot. Okay. Don't be an idiot and leave me alone. I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah, like it's really, really weird to me. Like I'll have conversations with other white people and they'll say like things and I'm just like, yeah, our close family friends are black and they're all educated and so like Wes that you met that did the prayer, he has a fucking master's degree. But please go ahead. Like it's just it's really weird and I think these Twitter cuz some Twitter
activist.
Twitter on people on Twitter are specifically setting up like how Libs of TikTok is Libs of TikTok, you know, and they just show like a certain type of videos. Now there's people setting up their own page and it's just black people fighting with each other and I'm just like I just think that's ignorant and I think you're trying to
We should text you and me. This is what we're going to talk about this like in text and maybe whatever. We should start one like that of all white people acting a fool and just, you know, caption every video like, you know, savages. Where are their parents? You know, their father must be so proud. That's what we should do.
We should do one of like little white kids just losing their shit at their parents, and then their parents didn't discipline them at all, so they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
That's one thing you didn't see in black families. Like you did that shit, you were getting hit in the mouth.
Yeah, it don't matter where you can. I mean, it could have been at a doctor's office, like. But that's how it was when I grew up. Like when I was growing up, if I acted a fool in a store, yeah, I'd either get a smack upside the head, a smack across the ear, or a backhand to the mouth. I mean, like you just, I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's not cool to hit your kids anymore. You know, there's abuse, like child abuse is one thing, but like discipline.
Big on, I don't, yeah.
It's going to require belt times.
Not big on hitting of little kids, but when I got really mouthy as a teenager, my mom would be like, right in the mouth, man. Like, oh, and it would like burn really, really bad. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't talk to my mom like that, or at least when I do, I should be further away from her.
And you know what? And to that point about, you know, all these people setting up these accounts with all these videos of black people fighting, that I'm pretty sure is kind of like it's just a reaction from whomever, because the left, they're always talking about white supremacy and how evil white people are, and oh, minorities are so oppressed, and then they're just a reaction to that onslaught against white people. Which, I mean, on one hand, I do get it. If I'm not white, but if I was, and I keep seeing these headlines about white supremacy and whatever, I'd be annoyed too. I get that, but then it's just kind of like a pendulum going back and forth from one extreme to another.
That's why we have to be solutionaries and not reactionary. And I tried not to react to those kinds of things. I tried really, really hard to blow it off. You know what Scar actually said to us the other day? She came into the kitchen. She's like, have you guys ever noticed that like all the people that are usually complaining about racism are white people? And I love that she's perceptive and like sees that, like you don't see it, and then when you do see like a lot of Black people complaining about it, they're like doing it on an award show in a $10,000 outfit, and nobody's feeling it.
Yeah, fucking Lori Lightfoot, mayor of Chicago, for how long? She blamed her re-election loss on racism, and it's like, no, you just failed the people in Chicago. Beetlejuice looking ass. Ugh.
No shit.
Hey, I'll get on it, Paul. I'll get on it on my phone.
We'll have to teach the Boy King how to do that.
Grayson, whenever you see this pop up, just hit that button.
No.
He's so crazy.
Paul's great. He's got all this confidence that he's going to teach me how to be like a tech guy, and I don't see it, man. I don't like working with wood because it's so soft. Teach me how to use a computer. I don't know, man. We'll see.
All right, Paul. I'm on it. I'm on it. Stoner.
You should take over for Wilford Brimley.
Oh, you're streaming on YouTube, right? Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the chat. I didn't even have the chat window open. What's up, everyone in the chat? I'm like, we're an hour in, and I'm just now acknowledging you all. I'm sorry.
You know what, Stoner? I'm about to go check on him. Maybe I will let him come down and say hi, because I know he was wanting to say hi to Hex. So
Everybody wants to say hi to Hex.
everybody wants a piece of that. They want that piece of chocolate.
Oh my God. What did I miss, Jess? Oh shit, she did?
Yeah, they were just kicking the hell out of each other 10 minutes ago. You got any bourbon, Hex?
No, I don't. Might get some tomorrow though.
I guess I'll do a shot for us then.
Appreciate it.
Anytime, bro. Instead of sexual chocolate, it'll be hexual chocolate.
I'm surprised no one has said that yet.
It just came to my mind. That's why I said
It's okay, First Shop. You're not my type.
it. Sounds racist. Oh my God. I had no idea we were going to really be tackling racism in America today.
We need to go back to the era of Blazing Saddles where we just made fun of everyone and nobody got mad.
So my GM from, Domino's back in the day, I still talk to and see on a regular basis.
Wasn't he at the Malvern Rule?
He was.
Yeah,
He was.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And like he's like when he was young, he's a couple years older than I am, and when he was younger, he was street, and he got off the street and but he's got a job. He ran a very successful pizza shop on the west side for a while, and he was the right kind of dude to do it, because over there you gotta be stern with people, and if he would have been a 40-year-old white guy being that stern with people, it wouldn't have gone over too well.
Right.
But he could read people. He's good with people. He had good people skills. He was smart. He's smart. He's street smart, you know. We talk about the differences between, you know, him and me, you know, and like we're good dudes. I trust him immensely, you know. He's an awesome dude, and he, you know, I hope he feels the same way about me. But we talk about how different we are, you know, and it's okay to be different because there's nothing wrong with being different. If everybody was the same, it would suck,
Right.
you know. But like, if we could just embrace the differences in one another, like that would, you know, you're black, I'm white. That should really be the end of it, you know, like, or you don't eat this. Well, I do, just not often. Oh, black people eat like macaroni and cheese, for instance. Like, you know, they asked me about macaroni and cheese at Thanksgiving, and I was like, what? No, like macaroni and cheese for like, no, I never heard of that. You know, and like it was like a record stopped in that store because there was times I was the only white guy in that store. You know, you don't eat macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving, huh? And they're like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's funny.
You know, like, and we're different. There's differences about us, but like that makes you unique. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't see how racism is such a problem when it's so simple. You know, there's nothing like, it's baffling.
I wrote the thread about this. Just tribalism sucks. You know, people get tribal, especially these days. It's just counterproductive. You just go out in the real world and just talk to people, and you'll find that, you know,
there's dicks at every race and creed. I mean, there just is.
Exactly.
You know, but that's what makes us great.
Damn straight.
This is really bad. I'm really bad at this, Paul. You got your work cut out for me with me, dude.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to like search through these chats. Let's talk about some food since you had burgers today and we had Alfredo. If you came across some tourist, you know, walking downtown or sitting at a bus stop waiting with you for a bus or whatever, and they asked you, you know, for where they could get some good American food, where would you send them? Like, what kind of food is American food?
A cheeseburger?
I got a thought.
Spaghetti, right?
You know where Slimans is, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably send them there. Hey, go to Slimans, get you a nice corned beef sandwich.
Isn't that Irish though?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying.
I would say cheeseburgers and hot dogs would be my
What about fried chicken?
Yeah, there you go.
Salad.
Yeah, fried chicken.
You know, because a lot of like, you know, especially racist people will say fried chicken is, you know, black people food, but really it's just Southern
everybody
food.
likes fried chicken.
It's just Southern, right? And it's Southern. You know, it's.
Ooh, we need to get Hex invited to one of Wes and Nellie's things when Nellie makes bomb fried chicken. I've asked her how she does it, and I'm just like,
That's just a great place to go hungry.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's and they got
when we go there, and I never leave hungry or sober.
Yeah, that is
Wes can cook, man. Like that dude on the grill. I've seen him out standing outside for hours on that grill.
So that's a good eating. When I did the Hawkett podcast, he asked me about Ohio food, and I'm like, well, a lot of people say Skyline chili. I never ate it.
That shit don't come out of Hamilton County. Keep that shit down there.
You know, that's more Cincinnati.
I blame the Germans for that.
You what the fuck, dude? I'm German.
Oh. No, I think Cincinnati has a big, at least at one point had a big German population. That Chile, whatever the fuck they do down there, that's on them.
I make some good chili
With beans.
with beans.
With beans. Otherwise, I don't know, it's just spaghetti sauce. Pretty much. Well, I ended up saying well, it's just meat in a sauce. I said pierogies for our area because we had like so many Polish people around here.
Yeah, first, we don't give a fuck up here, dude.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't had a pierogi in a while.
Yeah, there's quite a few places you can get.
There's churches all over the place giving programs out now on Fridays because of Lent. Because, like, for some reason, people don't eat meat. And it's like, huh?
My grandfather got really, really strict after their son died. My uncle, he was really young when he was in his 20s when he died. And my grandfather got really, really strict about religion, and they stopped eating meat on all Fridays.
Check and text.
What are they, Jewish?
No, they were Catholic.
Whenever I hear something like ridiculous when it comes to religion, I just assume Jew.
Okay, so apparently Forest Mommy said make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and Paul had to approve that.
That's weird.
Yeah.
YouTube chat moderation is gay.
Yeah, we gotta get our Rumble channel together and hopefully get enough subscribers that we don't have to pay for it. But Paul and Doug are struggling to get subscribers, so I don't know how we're gonna get 100. That's probably not gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I keep at it.
You know, every time he's like, said something about me on Twitter, I got like 15 extra followers. So,
has Hex ever met any Catholic people?
Like true Catholics? Because like technically I'm Catholic.
Were you confirmed?
I don't know.
Did you have a confirmation?
I think so.
What do you mean you think so? How do you?
I was young. It was a horrible part of my life. What age is usually the confirmation?
8th grade.
No.
Neither one of us are technically Catholic.
Sweet.
Well, heck, oh wait, no, she wasn't here. My cousin is Catholic, but that one wasn't here. The rest of them are just Christian. Like my cousin Cindy that you met, she's pretty Christian. Then like me, Steph,
dope.
Me and Steph aren't. Erica definitely isn't. But yeah, the rest of them were.
Well, like what's Wes?
Wes, I think they're Baptists. I don't. They go to the Word Church. I don't know what that. I think they're I think it's Baptist. I don't know. They sing a lot at their churches, and the funerals are fun. Everybody's clapping and singing.
The funerals are fun.
She's like, we're like Forrest Gump in the back, just.
We definitely, when we went to Marina's grandfather's church service, and it was in East Cleveland, and yeah, we definitely got some. Who are these white people? Look.
Oh my God.
What's Skipper's religion?
Nothing. Nothing. So, okay, my Skipper's grandmother, which is my Aunt Mary, they were Christian. She was not down with the Catholic stuff at all. In fact, she called me one time. Skipper's grandmother called me one time, and she's like, "Did you get the invitation for this communion for Lisa's kids? We are not Catholic. Why is she doing this?" And I'm just like, you fucking know my family, my mom's Catholic, right? Like, but yeah, like, so then she was pretty Christian. Her church was one of those churches that were like, they're all like, oh, like sing weird music and shit. And then yeah, Skipper was not feeling any of that stuff. I don't know if I don't think Skipper's mom is like go to church religious either though, but yeah, Skipper is atheist. We're all just fucking huge disappointments in our family, to tell you the truth. But yeah, my family's very weird. Like, so many families just have like one religion, and my family's just kind of all. My mom's side is Catholic, and then my dad's side was Protestant. That's what my grandparents were. And then yeah, I don't know. Most of them are Christian. But apparently they don't like Catholics. They made that pretty clear.
My dad was race classic, but he converted to Islam when he and my mom got together.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Usually it's the woman that, well, I don't know. I think my dad.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. First doesn't like to hang with anybody that he meets online.
We're not cool enough for him.
Or maybe Daniel is.
Yeah, maybe he likes boys named Daniel. Was she Catholic first, FM? Oh, okay, yeah, from Catholic. Can't say I blame her. It's a lot to be Catholic. When my dad got sick, our church pulled my mom aside and seriously said something about our family not donating as much money to the church anymore. Yeah. And I was kind of like, shouldn't you be like bringing our family food or something when my dad's sick? Like, isn't that what a church is supposed to do? But no, that didn't happen at all. Like, nobody helped us. And in fact, the only people that helped us were Christians from other churches. Ain't that fucked up? Like, our own church that we went to for years, that we grew up in. My brothers went to years of schooling there, so they paid the tuition for there. And then when we started going to public school, they still paid a tuition for us to go to PSR. My parents donated to them every week at church. All of us kids had to donate with the little like envelopes or whatever. And yeah, when my dad got sick, nobody at that church did anything for us. But yeah, my friend's family would send us food. Some of my mom's friends would make us food.
What kind of church was it?
My mom's church.
What's the church you're talking about?
It was St. Albert's, right up the street.
Okay, what is
Catholic?
Catholic, Jess. Mom, Forrest, mommy.
Yeah, so they didn't do anything to help our family. But yeah, like some of my Christian friends, like Ian's family, one of my best friends in high school, his parents sent us a bunch of food. My aunt, my dad got mad about this, but my aunt, through Kmart, if you work at Kmart, they would send baskets to needy families. You just had to tell them like which family you wanted it sent to, and my aunt would have it sent to us, and my dad would get so pissed. He's like, "We're not needy." But we were, and I was fucking hungry. I ate a lot of spaghetti, a lot of fucking hot dogs, and a lot of fucking bologna. A lot.
What did I do?
Oh, that is really nice. Was it a Catholic church? Gotcha. I bet it was Baptist or Christian. Because Catholics aren't nice, dude. They just want more money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird. Like once you start getting like it seems that once you start getting these offshoots of like the main religions, like in Christianity, you have like all the Catholics and Protestants and Methodists and Baptists and whatever, and then Islam has its own sects. I feel like these sects tend to like, for lack of a better term, go to war with each other, and then they think they're all better than each other, and it's like, well, you all believe in the same thing. Why don't you all just be good people like you're supposed to?
She called it.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of my Catholic school when I was a kid.
I got into really big trouble in PSR because I carved death into my arm.
Wow.
If you hold my arm to a black light, you can still see it. Clear as day. Yeah, my PSR teacher was pissed.
Yes, it did, Randy.
It really did.
Wait until you see my Hawkett podcast.
I was about to brag on getting kicked out of a Catholic school when I was like 8. And you're like, yeah, I got in trouble for carving death into my arm. I was just an asshole kid and my mom didn't pay tuition anymore. So they're like, you got to go, dude. And there's a school I don't know if you're ever down that way. It's on 130th, just south of Lorraine. I don't think it's a school anymore like it used to be, but I went to school there. I split my head open on that fence.
Oof.
Playing football.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
I was like 9.
Hex, did you ever almost get kicked out of your church?
Out of my church?
Yeah. Or is
No.
that what you call them? Or do you call them something different?
Mosque.
Right on. Really?
In Islam, it's a mosque, but it's basically the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. House of God. Whatever your God is.
You know the
No.
mosque that
I never did.
Go ahead.
I never got kicked out because
you're a good kid.
exactly.
And Adam and I were because you were raised.
Because you were a good young black man, and I was a bad young white kid. You had your family, your religion, and I was raised by a drunk mother.
I was just an angsty white teenager girl. Not really.
Carves death in her arm.
It was after I was abused and after my dad got sick. So I was holding like a lot in that I didn't talk about. And yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna carve death into my arm because I just kind of want to die, but I'm too scared to do it. I don't know.
Kind of that really first.
What?
The school, what I described.
Oh,
It's probably 10 minutes is from Hex's place, though. If I'm driving.
Say what?
it was all that Pantera I was listening to. Not really, though. In all honesty, I got better mentally when I started listening to stuff like Pantera. I did. Like it just like kind of helped me deal with my anger and like have
Release, like, oh,
Yeah.
I can do this. It's a release.
Yeah. And we used to sit and Topher will tell you about this because Topher wouldn't do it. He would just sit in the hippie chairs and watch us. But we would sit there and listen to Marilyn Manson and Pantera, and we would just like headbang like crazy with the strobe light and the black light on and stuff. And we would just mosh around and headbang and stuff.
Should I open it or tab? Shit out.
Blacking what shit up.
That.
Well, yeah, if you go to another tab, you're not going to see that.
Okay, never mind. Sorry, carry on. I'm going to attempt to use this Android.
Aw, that makes me sad. If you were my daughter, I'd cuddle you in my bosoms when you were sad, and I'd pet your pretty hair. He would yell at you, but I would hold you in my bosom.
Oh, not. yell at you.
Sure. You yell at our kids all the time.
Yeah, I do, because they need some. They need to know that there's someone out there.
But that's it. I like my mom was definitely a tough mom. She was. I can be a tough mom, but my mom would be very loving, like I mean, there was times if you were upset about something, she would be like, "Oh my God, get over it. It's not that bad,"
I'll be
but
right back.
if you were really upset about something, my mom was very considerate, don't you think? I think both my parents were, but they were also the type to at times be like, okay, I get you're sad, but like get up, get over your shit. Like you still have to go to work, you still have to do this. And you know, at some point in your life, you're gonna have to make a choice whether to wallow in all the shit that's happened to you or you're gonna move forward and try and make a happier life. I'll never sit there and say that the stuff that happened to me throughout my life doesn't still affect me in ways to this day. I think you would agree. You can still see the effects that it has on me. I don't let it control my life though. So, hi, baby. Hi. Scar and I were
Say hi.
were going through pictures of her. No bus and hugs for you, buddy. You guys are so funny. I yell. Well, yeah, for sure. Like sometimes it's like you'll tell them to do something and then they don't do it. And you tell them again and they don't do anything. And you tell them again and they don't do anything. And you're just like, would you just do this? And then they do it. So, you know. See, my mom kind of yelled a lot, but my dad didn't really yell a lot. So when my dad yelled, it was like, holy shit. And it was like, I better go do the dishes like yesterday, But by the time my mom got to me, she was like, I'm about done with all of your shit. Made for a tough kid, though.
Conversation at dinner, and I got a little like, yeah. But it's like when your kids are young and they hurt themselves, you don't want to give off like a reaction that scares them, so they freak out. If you're cool, they'll be cool. So like I'm trying that approach when I get into uncomfortable situations with my daughter. Like just don't react. If you're cool, they're cool.
Just stay calm. Nobody freak out. We told Scar today when she's older, we're gonna have have a sex talk with her. Because I don't want to have that conversation. But one thing my parents asked me, like, what could we have done better? Because I did get pregnant and miscarry at 17. And they asked me a few years later, like, what could we have done better to like help that prevent happening? And I'm like, well, I just think you guys don't understand how like sex is nowadays. And it's like it's much more, you're just really expected to have sex. And I was like, I don't think they understood the pressure. And I just think there was other things you could have talked to me about that you probably didn't feel the need to talk to me about. And yeah, I'll have FM have those conversations with Scarlett because I'm not freaking having those conversations.
Yeah, it's in the set.
We got like a good 5 or 6 years. I mean, she's home, but she's homeschooled. It's not like she's gonna be around like boys the way I was boys. Around
you were boys. What?
Around boys, I mean. Tex is like, dude, I'm not fucking having kids. I think she will be great at it. There's some things that are
Well, yeah, the great Auntie Forrest mommy.
yeah. I mean, there's things that I
Auntie
learned.
to all.
Yeah, there's things that I learned from other women in my life that I didn't learn from my mom. But I will say, when my mom asked me once if Adam and I were still having sex, I was like, oh my God, like, I cannot believe you're asking me this question right now, mother. She's like, well, are you? We were married and we had gotten like, it was after we had Scarlett. And I wouldn't let Scarlett leave the room. And
Well,
you-
yeah. Eventually, I was like, no, she put together a whole fucking room for her. It's right there. It'll be okay.
And like he said something to my mom about it because Adam's a fucking tattletale. Let me tell you something about Adam. He tries to act all
Well,
badass.
I couldn't go to my mother for 30, 25 fucking years before I met Mary, and then she was all like, "Come here." So I had mommy issues. Okay, I was raised by a scored drunk woman who wasn't very nice. So when Mary was like, "Oh, he's like my son." Oh, thanks, mom. Come here.
Yeah.
And she ain't a fucking peach to deal with. So like I needed backup, dude.
Excuse me?
You know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's like an epiphany right here.
That's why he craves your attention, Jess.
That's
Oh my
fucking
God,
hilarious.
that's funny. But yeah, my mom asked me that because
But believe it or not, Forrest mommy, you're nicer than my mom.
oh my God, dude. FM's like
If I would have had Forrest mommy when I was growing up, maybe I would have turned out all right.
and you yeah, but then you wouldn't have married me.
No.
I've joked about Adam's mom. I'm like, well, I'm glad she made you jaded enough to be with me. Because if you grew up in a nice family, and I grew up in a nice family, but there was like a lot of other issues that really fucked me up. And yeah, if Adam would have come from like a nice family, he would have never dated with me. He would have been like, this bitch is crazy.
I mean, I still said that, but I'm still here.
You're fucking crazy too.
Yeah, see? That's right, Stoner. I'm just a big softy.
So cute.
Sick jaded Adam. Just keep a rolling, huh, Stoner?
Stoner is on a roll tonight. So Hex, remember we said we were gonna make you go to a country concert?
Yes, I do remember that.
Well, there happens to be 2 very awesome country concerts coming to Blossom this summer. So we just got to figure out which one you should go to. I think you would like Eric Church's music better, but I feel like your chances of finding a good woman would be better at Dirk Bentley. But did you see?
Dude, there's gonna be mass ass no matter what show we go to.
Well, Eric Church,
Especially in the summer at Blossom. We're probably gonna see boobies. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube?
Randy and I grew up with the same brother. Difference is, I'm a fucking girl. So yeah. Yeah, but Hex, I'll send you some of the music of both people that are coming. I will say though that I do think you'll like Eric Church live better than Dirk Bentley, just because he gets more into rock stuff. His guitarists are pretty good. Well, I think Driver left. But anyways, but those tickets though are $75 for the lawn. That is the most
Yeah, it's
expensive
crazy.
Blossom ticket I've ever seen. Like most of the time we pay
Did they
like
charge you a
50 bucks.
convenience fee too?
It what?
Did they charge you a convenience fee too? Okay, context. Industrial band I like is coming to Cleveland in May. I went to go buy tickets and they charged like a $13 convenience fee for some reason. And I'm like, the fuck is this?
Yeah. So most concerts we go to at Blossom, it's like $35 for the ticket, and then it's like a $15 fee. So like 50 bucks. So
Yeah.
it's not too bad, you know. But that's the most expensive I've seen for Blossom. But I will say this: Eric Church plays for 3 hours.
I'll pay for it.
You'll pay for half of Hex's ticket. Oh,
We'll fucking go bowling, dude.
she's getting long, Hex. She's turning
What?
into a look at her.
Did she let you? Did she walk? Did she stay there when you walk around too, or would she jump off if you got up and started moving?
Yeah, she would stand there if I got up.
Yeah, so I'll send you some of that stuff, but I think you would like Eric Church.
I think you would like Eric Church more than Dierks Bentley too.
Yeah, and Eric Church though he does play for 3 hours usually. Most people only play for an hour and a half. Eric Church usually doesn't have an opener, and he plays for 3 hours. And he just like they jam out, dude. We went there. They played Sweet Leaf. That was fucking sweet.
Well, we went to see him in Cleveland on 420.
Yeah, and they played Sweet Leaf, but he just plays like rock music and he'll do like medleys of other songs and shit. It's funny. It's cool. He's kind of a dick in real life, and some of his fans are like really fucking weird.
Sup, Doug?
Like really. Hi, Doug. But yeah, his music is fucking great. It's definitely worth it, I think. I mean, well, I can't even say it's not worth it. How much did we pay
What?
for our tickets
Which ones?
in Philly?
Which ones?
The ones on the floor.
Those were expensive.
Yeah.
Those were expensive.
Okay, never mind. I don't want to know. We're probably still paying for that.
No. But that was awesome. We were walking around Philly and I was on my phone trying to get us an upgrade because when we went, he played Friday and Saturday night. We went for both shows. The first show, we were up in the nosebleeds at Wells Fargo Arena in Philly. The people around us were lame as all hell. I mean, they're just lame. The dude behind us like had a broken foot or something, and he was the last row in our section, but not even all the way up. But there was no one sitting above him. And yeah, they were complaining that we were up and like jamming. Like, I didn't even get to smoke my doobie during that show because the dude was a cop. I was worried about him freaking out.
The guy was in a wheelchair, and they were yelling at the people in front of them for dancing and singing. And when I was trying to like separate them,
Oh yeah, it almost came to blows. That's right.
yeah, I like tried to separate them because we were in the middle. Like our row was in the middle. The people that they were mad at were in front of us. These people were behind us. This fat bitch looks at me and she's like, he just got over cancer and he's in a wheelchair. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. My dad was in a wheelchair. Yeah, my dad was in a wheelchair. He would be like, get up, have a good time while you can. That's how my dad would be. And she looked at me all like, it's like,
so anyway, the Friday night good show. So we were walking around like Philly like a tourist shit. I was on my phone like most of the afternoon trying to get us because our seats were in the same fucking spot pretty much, like different area, but that high up.
Right. So I'm like nagging him, like, get off your phone. We're spending time together. I get really irritated with people on their phones. Like I get
well, we were there for our 10-year wedding anniversary too. So like I get it. I tried being nonchalant about it, but like, so I'm trying to upgrade our tickets, and then sure enough, we're like getting ready for the show. And I think I came out of the bathroom from my shower, and I was like, yeah, we're sitting on the floor.
No, you didn't tell me then.
When did I tell you?
We-
Oh, I didn't tell you till we walked in the fucking place.
I went to go walk the one way, and Adam was like, "No, we're going that way." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he showed it to me.
That's right.
Yeah, and then we got floor seats in Cleveland because my parents were dead and they felt bad for me. That's essentially how we got those tickets.
She was a part of a group on Facebook, and someone went on the group and said, I want to upgrade these tickets. Someone's ticket who's got up in the nosebleeds,
Who's never been on the
who's
floor.
never had floor seats for an Eric Church show, because he's been there a bunch of times, I guess. So she responded to it. One of the friends that she met from that group responded to her response, and dude's like, yeah, come on, meet me here. Dude, we jumped out of the cab and ran the rest of the way to the fucking to the arena because of we had to be there at a certain time, and there was no way we were going to make it.
We need to stop talking about this, or I'm going to end up with another concert in the living room. I'm jonesing. I'm like a heroin addict when it comes to concerts. I need it, dude. Like that vibe, that feeling, when everybody's together and you all love this one thing for whatever reason, and you're just all bonded in this moment. And then you have one of the greatest moments of your life, like I had at Eric Church when me and that chick killed Knives of New Orleans, man.
That's the last one we got done.
Me and this chick, when we were at Eric Church, one of my favorite songs is Knives of New Orleans. I'm sure you've heard it when you were here, Hex, because I pretty much play it every time on a Saturday night.
I'll probably hear that song later.
Probably will be hearing that song later, honey. And it's just a great song. It wasn't a hit of his, but it's a very beloved song among fans. And me and this chick in front of me, that song came on and we just went nuts. Like we were singing to each other, like we were air guitaring together. Like her husband high-fived me because he just knew his wife was having the best time. It was just like one of the best moments of my life. I don't care. It was so great. I loved it.
Did you tell the story on Hawkins?
No, but I sounded as stupid yesterday as I do right now. I just get really excited about things, and I just really like to laugh and smile. Because honestly, for a lot of years, I didn't laugh and smile that much. I mean, I did, but I was kind of a bitch. Years ago, if I would have came across Forest Mommy on Twitter, I'd be like, ugh, why is this bitch so pretty and happy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Tuesday was it was a special. I don't know.
Because, it was Tuesday.
I don't know what came over me because I put the record player in here, Hex, because you know how I'll hook up the phone or the laptop to the record player so I can listen to it louder. So I was in the basement. I'm like dancing, singing. And then I'm like, you know what? I was like, I need to go up into the living room and watch this on the big screen. It all started, Hex, it all started with me listening to Kip Moore's version of Purple Rain.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I've sent you that version. I know I sent you the Dwight Yoakam version. The Kip Moore version is even better. I'll have to send that to you, but yeah. I've only had 1.5, but speaking of, we've been going for about an hour and 45. We're gonna land the plane before Paul tells me nobody's gonna land the plane. Do you remember the first night with Doug? Paul was like, oh my God, I was wondering when they're going to land the plane, but then I realized there's no fucking pilot to land this plane going on right now because me, Adam, and Doug were just...
That was fun, though.
It was fun. We have to have Doug back on again when he's not working at night. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us again, and hopefully we'll see you next week. I guess Adam is going to try and get Robert on. one time. That would be cool. So, get on that. Start
And you're the stay-at-home wife.
all right.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Good night,
Peace.
everybody. Did it end?
Right here.
Oh, it's not ending.